sitting down to take a stand.
As we said in the previous video, as a result of the Perry House Coalition writing a letter to President McAuliffe and her cabinet requesting that we had a committee that would come up with some possibilities for the future of Perry House, President McAuliffe responded back agreeing. The only dilemma was that she had agreed to the committee, but she also said that the committee would oversee the findings for Batten House and Esteniolla Plaza.
Which would be apartments that are another alternative living option for students.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when the students found out that of the Perry House Coalition found out that we would also be having to look over those two residential buildings, we wrote a letter back to her reminding her of what our initial demands were, and we didn't hear back, unfortunately. But we moved ahead with the Perry House Committee, stating that it was only focused on the Perry House Committee, and that consists of 2 faculty members who self-selected themselves, 7 student representatives who were focused solely on the Perry House issue, and 2 administrators. We recently had our first meeting with Jane McAuliffe. It was more of a launching type meeting. We didn't really get to discuss any logistics. But even though we initially excluded Batten House, not out of malice, we're now reconsidering putting them back into the conversation so that we can move forward as a movement collectively with Batten House.
Just a random question. Were you guys talking about having, were you talking about having Batten House representatives? Was that one of the things?
Yes, so initially we did not like the idea of having Batten House representatives on the committee, and some Batten House representatives expressed the same, because we felt that it would take away from the importance of Perry House and lessen, how big of an issue it was. But we realized now that in order to make a huge presentable case to the Board of Trustees, because they are the ones who are going to be determining the future of any residential building on campus, we think it's beneficial to us to include Batten House as well, so that we can say, hey, we're focusing on Perry House. It's still our priority, but we want to make sure that we do not neglect any other communities on campus as well.
So do they have, I know it's only 22 students, but does Marymount Apartments have any sort of represent? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that came up, but it's hard to get represented from Marymount Plaza because it's not an established community. It's just buildings that Bryn houses there, and they pay rent. So the people who are on the committee, the 7 students are Angel Suero, class of 2016, Marissa Jackson, class of 2014, myself, class of 2015, Sasha de la Cruz, class of 2015, Alexis de la Rosa, class of 2015, Danielle Cadet, class of 2016, Khadijah Seay, class of 2016, and then you have Pim Higginson from the chair of the Africana Studies Department, and Alison Cook-Sather, the head of the Teacher and Learning Initiative on campus, and then you have Dean Rasmussen, Michele Rasmussen, and of course CFO Jerry Berenson.
And we'll probably post those names down below so that you don't have to write them.